Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Seen Beyond and Through with Monty. Today, kind of with a heavy heart, we're going to look into a prediction, and we're going to look beyond, we will see through, about two subjects here. One is the disappearance of Glee star Naya Rivera, and we will touch on Kayne West. I'm going to give you some insight, my insight as to what happened with Naya. And without further ado, I'll tell you what came to me. Because as you know that my channel is Seen Beyond and Through. And sometimes I can't see beyond and through. Now it says search continues for Glee actress Naya Rivera, presumed drowned in Lake Piru. 4-year-old son found alone on boat. Well, unfortunately, she is drowned. But let me just tell you this much. Some have speculated that it was foul play involved. No, I do not see foul play. I do not feel foul play. I do not believe that she was kidnapped. I do not believe that she was taken off the boat. I do not believe that there were body parts taken from her, stealing, trafficking, nothing of that sort right there. I do see that she was very troubled, that things were not quite right in her mind. She had a lot of issues going on. And one of the things, the most prominent thing that kept coming to me was that suicide, that she actually jumped into the river. She was not pushed. It was not a fall or slip. She actually jumped. Now, I say suicide because, it's a little more to that. Because if it's done by your own hand, then it will be called a suicide. But there was something else at play, I feel. And I just want to warn people, ladies with children, it's never safe to go out alone on a lake, to rent a boat, to go camping alone, to go, fishing alone with the child. It's not really safe to do that. And I'm not trying to be sensationalistic or trying to scare anyone. Only because 30 years ago, I watched a show called America's Most Wanted. And I do remember vividly, it was an FBI agent, a female FBI agent. And she went with her like a 5-year-old son out to a camping trip. And she met up with these boisterous men. It was 2 of them. She tried to get away from them. She thought she got away. She went to a pit stop. And on that pit stop, she was sexually assaulted in front of her son. So going out to a bare lake is never really safe. Going out to camping alone, female with a child, is never safe to do those things. You always want to go with a group of people. Now, with Naya and her son, this is not anything that happened to them. But I do want to share with you, because I told you that she had some issues going on. And I spoke with a friend of mine. I remember him telling me about an episode that he had where he was on top of a roof. I thought it was a roof, but he corrected me, and I'll show you what he allowed me to share with you. He says, no, it was a bridge 5 stories over the river. During my hypnomanic phase, it seemed like the most fun and exciting idea I ever had in my life. That was the very little ability for me to reasonably think that it was not. So it took everything within means You're not actually going to do it because at the time it seemed like total fun. It was not until I looked back over the incident later that I was completely horrified. Hypnomania and mania can take you out of your head with unrealistic thoughts and ideas that you're not found in reality. They don't make logical sense. Again, hypnomania is reduced from mania. So, had I been fully manic, that would have more than likely been so been no restraint at all. Hypnomania leave you with a little room where you can personally rationalize things enough to a degree that it just may save your life, as it did with mine. You can go over that. So with Naya, could she have had a hypnomanic phase where it just seems like the most fun and logical thing to do? I'm going to take off my life jacket and just jump inside a river. I do not believe that she was intending to in any way harm her son, which is why he was left with a life jacket. Now, some may think that he was traumatized. Now, follow me here. If he seen her jumping into the water, into the river, in his mind, she was just going for a swim. And after that, I understand that he went to sleep. So, in that regards, there was no trauma before his eyes. It wasn't like, she was harmed in front of him. So, with Naya Rivera, no, there was no foul play involved. There was no one else involved. Unfortunately, it was by her own hand. What she was going through, we would never really know. But I do look into her eyes right there. Something just seems very troubled. Something seems very off. There's no joy there in her eyes. I do believe the body will be found. But wherever she's at, let's just hope that, she's in peace now. And God be with him and bless him for the rest of his life. I believe she'll be found. Kanye West. Let's see beyond and through with him. He announced his presidency for the United States of America. And many people believe that he's going to split the black vote, ensuring another Trump victory. However, black people are not that foolish. Black people are not that desperate. He's not that beloved by black people to have this type of an effect. Actually, his effect, to be honest with you, is going to be the opposite that people never really thought of. He's going to help more black voters go to the poll. But they're not going to vote for him. He's not going to make an impact at all in this election. Kanye West is known bipolar. I mean, it's on record that he's bipolar. And people know that he's kind of off. With Trump, we did not know for sure if Trump was until later on into his presidency. There's no record of Trump being that particular way, but obviously you can clearly see that there's some mental issues. But Trump was already in after we found out. This is different with Kanye. We know before even electing him or before even throwing our votes to him that this man is bipolar, that he suffers from depression, that he has manic episodes. And I can tell you one thing, that he's very stubborn and he's very inconsistent when taking his medications. So no, he's not going to split the black vote. Blacks are not going to vote for him in droves. He's not going to have an impact on the presidency at all. He's too polarizing for black people. He's not that beloved figure. You know, if Hillary Clinton were to jump into the election or would have had, jumped into it, she would have definitely split the black vote. Clinton would have. But Kanye, no way. Kanye West struggling with bipolar disorder report, okay? See that? We already know. TMZ reports Kanye West is having a bipolar episode and his family is concerned. So therefore, Kanye West's presidency is some type of an attention seeking. It's a way for him to make himself look big. He loves this. He definitely could be into an episode that he's having right now. But I don't even believe that he's serious. I don't even think he really knows exactly the magnitude of what he's doing. He has a name, he has money, and he's able to do it. He got Twitter talking, right? He got people talking. He got social media abuzz with it. But it's going to fizzle out at the polls. It's going to be a two-man race between Biden and Trump. Biden has the victory. I do believe that, Biden will win. I don't necessarily see Trump actually really wanting it that bad because Trump is losing a lot of money. He's not gaining an income from being president. It's a headache that he doesn't really want. He knows a lot of things that are not true, that he has to kind of like compromise himself and go along with it. And that's not really Trump's personality. To some degree, he's muzzled more than what he wants to be. He knows a lot of secrets that we think that he's crazy on, but the truth is stranger than fiction. I'll leave it at that. But this was another edition of Seen Beyond and Through with Monty. And I will see you beyond and through.